Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all my baggage droppers around the world, welcome to another episode of Drop Your Baggage. This is where I help amazing entrepreneurs and other guests get rid of some things that are off their shoulders, and we can give you guys great value with the personal development journey that we have been on. Today, I have on the amazing Carolyn Powell. But before we get into that, let's go ahead and ask you to please consider hitting the like and subscribe button if you are on YouTube and Facebook. And if you're on any of the other platforms, podcasting platforms, buckle up because we're about to go on a wild ride. Now, Carolyn here is a holistic health coach, and that's whole with a W, ladies and gentlemen. She works with people's mindsets to help them with their mind, body, and soul. And she knows this because she's experienced in it. She has her own work in progress, doing a body reclamation experience, taking care of herself so she can also take care of those that she cares about the most. And since October, she has released 45 pounds. That is so amazing. And I can't wait to go over you with that. But the most impressive job, of course, is being the mom of 6 beautiful kids, ranging from 12 and a half years old to 20 years old. Let's get this. So she has a 20-year-old, a 19-year-old, a 17-year-old, 2 15-year-olds, and a 12-and-a-half-year-old. Ladies and gentlemen, also she has a couple of stepkids and just all around cool neighborhood mom. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you Carolyn Powell. How you doing?
Thank you, Charles. I am doing outstanding. Thank you so much for bringing me on and connecting with me. This is amazing.
Of course, Carolyn. Well, now, once again, where are you from?
I am in Grand Junction, Colorado. I am a Colorado native, which there aren't a whole lot of us. But I was born in Colorado and I still live in Colorado. So, yeah.
What do you mean there's not a whole bunch of you guys?
I don't know. People, I don't know where they go. Clearly, they're born here and then they just up and vanish. And then we're just all full of people from other different states, it seems. I don't run into many people that were actually born in Colorado.
So like, are you from like a small town? How many people are in your neck of the woods?
Right, this town I'm in, well, it depends on the time of year, you see.
Touché.
Because we have a Division II university here, and so the population, spikes during school. So, but actually, I think we're about 40,000 in the town proper. So, yeah, it's not. We are the largest city between Denver and Colorado. No, between Denver and Salt Lake City, Utah. So, there's that. Wow.
That's an awesome statistic right there.
Yeah.
Now, you as a holistic health coach, tell me more about that, because obviously you have your own spin on it with you being a holistic coach with a W. Tell me more about that.
So I've always been against the grain and not fitting in, and always thinking just a little bit over here when everybody else was, doing this sort of gig. And, when you're little, that's not fun, because then you're the outcast, but you learn to realize, there's a reason why you think that particular way.
Yeah.
God gave you that divine understanding of things that just not everybody else gets in the same way. So I've always had that. I've always, I've had some bad experiences with family members that their health did not go well. They were not healed. They were not treated well. The health system was not working. So I'd taken a couple different career paths. I'd always been an athlete in school and everything. So being physical was always a part of me. Being spiritual was always a part of me. And the mind part was kind of the last piece to pull it together. I got involved with an amazing founder of the Institute of Wholistic Health. And they put together this program at the same time as I was a wellness director at a physical therapy clinic. as we shut down last year, here came this amazing world of opportunity that just put everything together. I was able to put my personal training and nutritionist certifications and everything all together to really wrap up this whole piece of what, nutrition is not only the food that we put in, it's that mental space too, and it's that spiritual space. So the whole piece just completely fell together like a perfectly put together puzzle. So
that's so cool. Now, earlier on, so you mentioned a lot of different things. Earlier on, you mentioned that you had a spiritual type of healing journey as well. What went into that spiritual healing journey?
Well, there is a lot. So right now we have a blended family. And so part of that journey was leaving my first husband with those 6 kids when they were little, he's alcoholic and blah, blah, blah. And it just came to a time where my worthiness had been so set in other people's standards that I would do, I know, I just wasn't me.
Yeah.
I wasn't who God was calling me to be. And just going through the steps of accepting that it wasn't me that wasn't good enough to be loved. It was them. It was, my, all of these other people that are involved in your life as life goes on. It wasn't me, it was them, and they needed to work on themselves. And so that piece of accepting, I'm just fine the way I am.
Man.
Was a pretty big spiritual release of acceptance.
Wow. Amen. So with your the steps, you said steps for acceptance. What were those steps for acceptance that you had, and as far as learning it and actually knowing on a deeper level that you're good enough?
Well, it came through teaching others how worthy they are. And then you kind of have to eat your own medicine then.
Yeah.
I had a lot of friends going through some pretty bad stuff, suicide kind of things, and on a Christian principle of you were made for a purpose and you were created for a divine purpose, not just to be blowing in the breeze. And God sent his son to die for you. And that's how worthy you are.
Yeah.
And until I believed it, there was absolutely nothing wrong with my belief factor in that until I applied it to me. And it really became evident when I started being so grateful for blessings or things that people would think were just these god-awful things, where I'm like, no, really, that it was a terrible time there. And if I would have stayed there, I would be terrible along with it. I don't want to be terrible. I've seen terrible. I've seen people not deal with their stuff. I don't want to be that. So that was there as a lesson for me to learn.
Yeah.
And to move on for. And so that's that, just the accepting that I was made for a reason. I'm not a second thought. So yeah.
That's deep. Do you remember the exact moment, like where it just clicked? It's like, wow, like you took that real hard look in the mirror, had that introspective, and you just got it. Like,
it wasn't too long ago.
Word?
It wasn't too long ago.
Wow.
It was last year in the fall. A few people that I hold very dear to me saw something in me and invited me on a retreat. And I was just like, yeah, I'm going. Yeah. I don't know why you want me along for the ride, but I'll bring the party. I don't know what.
No, that's right.
But it was when somebody else that I held in great esteem saw something and said something. They vocalized it.
Yeah.
That I said, okay, I trust you enough and know you well enough that I know you're not just blowing smoke.
Yeah.
So this has to be real. So I'm going to go along. So yeah, that was in September last year.
That is phenomenal. And like, you know, a lot of people, like we all have those different people throughout our lives that have such a profound influence on us, whether it be a teacher or a parent or a mentor, someone that we hold in high esteem, even, but you know, as we grow up, we also appreciate and we admire like gurus, you know what I mean? Gurus are like really wise people, I should say. Wise people that have been wise for a very long time. So for you to have such an influential person like bestow such a blessing of positivity upon you like that is amazing.
Yeah.
And now
it's a definite gift.
And like you return the blessing in so many ways. So you say you mentor other folks as well.
Yeah. I do far more you're worthy coaching. And it's men and women both. It's not just a woman's head game that you know society would like to think it is. There's men out there that are just as freaked out about purpose and what on earth am I supposed to be doing, and that when you're ready to grow and understand that it takes a lot of self-development and personal growth kind of work.
Yeah.
Let's go. Until you're ready to make that step, you're just treading water. You're not going to make progress.
Yeah. All nonsense and just fillers.
Yeah.
Like, so how do you work with your clients? What do you like? What is your methodology when it's taking somebody that comes to you with that lack of confidence, those limiting beliefs, those insecurities? How do you help that person transition? What does your program look like where you help that person transition from who they were to who they are when they're in alignment with God?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I start with a very simple health evaluation. There was like, oh, okay, well, no big deal. Okay, so we start working. It's all virtual, of course. And I meet with them for 30 minutes once a week. And then we review at the end of each month and say, okay, we'll take another evaluation, see how things are doing. If you've taken my suggestions, how's your journaling going, blah, blah, blah. And, 4 to 6, 7 weeks in, either they're having outstanding results or they're not. And that's when we start getting into, so if you haven't done your journal for 5 weeks, it's just a journal and you're the only one that's reading it, and so then these things start to come out about being accountable or even my penmanship isn't good. What? So I've done a lot of work. Deb Erickson has done some amazing stuff in our group. So learning from her and using neuro tools and things, but who is telling you that? So all of these other great people that I've learned from, I get to pour into others now.
Yeah.
And work through them. Who's telling you that story? Why are you believing it? Do you believe it? And working through that whole gamut. And then suddenly their health starts to improve.
Wow.
Suddenly their relationships start to improve. All because of that self-work.
Yeah. Real talk. I mean, especially when it comes to like epigenetics, and being able to influence and manipulate your DNA and your body through the power of the mind and the releasing of emotions. it's amazing because it goes right in alignment with your chakras. I know if something is hurting, or if
Oh
I'm
yeah,
feeling a little bloated or something, it's all got to do with my chakras.
right.
Um,
Those energy systems
yeah,
are put there in place for a reason. I mean, the that's the universe speaking to you so that you can speak, so then it can go through you.
yeah. Yeah, that's pretty fascinating that you kind of combine the works of the law of attraction with the universe and everything mixed in with Christianity. How did you come to bring those two together like that?
That one was hard.
Mm.
That one was through some meditation work, which I was totally like, kind of thing.
Yeah.
um, but when I understood, I had a mentor that explained meditation as it's not an act of doing anything,
Mm.
it's an act of just being centered
Yeah.
and nothing.
Hmm.
And just that forcing yourself into the awareness of you and where you are.
Hmm.
That has really been phenomenal because I know who the guard of my soul is.
Yeah.
So I don't have to fear anything about that.
Hmm.
I'm secure in that belief system.
Hmm.
So I start my day every day in 10 minutes of meditation. We have a very cool thing in our group called the Magic Morning. And you start with 10, it's just 10-minute segments for an hour of different things. And starting with meditation, got some, clear energy music on that's just, and it's that's when and then the next piece of that magic morning is a spiritual aspect, reading through scripture or reading
Yeah.
through some Psalms or Proverbs or, something,
Hmm.
and being grateful for that.
Yeah.
And just being accepting that was written for you. It wasn't just some book that you pick up at the bookstore. That scripture was written to you, to me, as a personal letter of God speaking to you.
Yeah.
So how can that not be right?
Hmm. What do you find like the what do you find that are some of the benefits of you meditating? So like before, this is how like your mindset worked, or you, and then like the after.
Oh, dude, I could never shut this thing off.
Yeah.
There'd been like 100 rabbit trails in 20 seconds. I was like, wait, no, I got to do that. And my daughter's got to go here, and shoot, did I do that last night? No, the laundry, and then
Hmm.
nothing.
Hmm.
It's that intention
Yeah.
of that is what this time is for.
Hmm.
Nothing else. Like I set up a different office so I could shut the door, lock it. I start that at 4 a.m. I get up at 3:45 so I can start at 4 a.m. and get it going. I mean, we don't have time to waste.
No.
People need guidance.
Hmm.
I don't want to say they need help. They need guidance.
Real talk.
And if we're not ready to go, we're not helping anybody.
Real talk. And so the meditation is that making you more prepared and ready to go with a clear mind.
Yeah.
See, so that's the thing,
Yeah.
like I do my fair share of praying. And when I pray to the creator, I, at times I can talk and I can talk and I can talk and I can talk. But the thing about it is, when do I listen? And I listen during my meditations.
Yeah.
That's where the intuition, which is like the creator's voice right there, that, or that little, or it's showing me what my limiting beliefs are, or how I see myself in maybe a not so positive way. And that's just like giving me a sign like, hey, you need to go ahead and get rid of that. So you can be more in alignment with the creator.
Yeah.
You see, it's,
Yeah.
it's meditation is super powerful. We have so much stimulation in the world right now, as far as ways to entertain ourselves, ways to get education, ways to get any type of knowledge. Right? It's definitely the not the education age, but it's the information age right now, to where information is anywhere and everywhere, and it's always thrown in our face through this thing right here.
Right, right. And it, like you touched on, that is a way, clearing the mind,
Yeah.
not emptying the mind. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Clearing the mind so that you can hear away from those distractions. That's what, we're called to do that, to pray, meditate, and fast. Hello. That's kind of in there too.
Yeah. Real talk.
But and there is a difference in, just like money, just like anything.
Yeah.
Is if it gets a little twisted when you're not recalling, and maybe you don't know, but where that is coming from.
Yeah.
So that, to me, that's a huge difference.
100%. Like, and whether it comes to money or relationships, whether it comes to, your views on politics, or your views on how you want to live, and your health,
your values,
everything, all those things, they come from most of them come from outside sources. And like what you said, you have to look at, where did those thoughts come from? Where did those beliefs come from? And if they're influenced by someone else, you have to ask, what was their teaching and intentions? What was their consciousness about it? And is there more? Is there a different perspective about it? Because we're all doing the best that we can with the resources and consciousness that we have.
Right.
And we can always have more.
And with those injuries that have been passed on from generation to generation.
100%. 100%. Yeah. Hurt people, right?
That's right.
The trauma that my mom and my grandmother experienced, that my ancestors experienced, you know what I mean? Especially with me being a Black American, I have some of that, you know what I mean? When I saw pictures or heard stories, all those things affected me as well. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
part of what knits us together as being human.
Yes. Yes. 100%. And then when you find that compassion and empathy for folks, that's when you can also have it for yourself. That's one thing that, I really saw, is that I was more willing to, like before, when I was younger, I was willing to judge others, but that was only because I was judging myself so deeply. You feel me? But when I had compassion and love for myself, and had forgiveness for myself, that's when I was able to display the most as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. So tell us about your health journey when it comes to losing the 45 pounds as well, because I bet there's a lot of people out there who want to hear about that.
So, there's so many options out there. And of those options, there's always a supplementation piece, because nutrition wise, our food is not going to get us there, or we wouldn't be in the health crisis that we are if we listened to the stinking food pyramid and eat from all 4 food groups. Right. So there was an adoption of that philosophy that had to take place, that if you are overweight, if you have chronic pain, I don't know, the list is very long, of course. But if you're having any of these problems and nothing that you're doing is getting you better or progressing you in any way, it makes sense to be open to try something new.
100%.
So I said, okay, fine. So I really adopted getting good nutrition into me. Cut out the gluten, cut out the fried foods, cut out the sodas. It's a pretty good list, but life is a lot easier when you get rid of that stuff. So that was part of it, was making sure that I was not clogging up the system to begin with.
Yeah.
That I had a good system to work with. And then I did follow and still follow a ketogenic lifestyle with supplementation.
Ooh, what type of supplementation?
There's 90 essential vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids that every human person requires for life. And when you get all of those on board, your body's like, let's go.
Hey, okay,
And
then.
it's, the sleep is phenomenal. My awareness and my energy during the day went through the stinking roof. My kids are like, Mom, stop. But, the difference is I don't have my numbers with me. But yeah, it's 45 pounds. Yeah.
Wow.
I haven't been this weight in my adult life.
Wow. Holy cow.
Right?
That is phenomenal. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. It stinking feels amazing. Yeah, because now I can go into my daughter's closet and be like,
right.
Let me see this one. I mean, I haven't been able to wear their shoes for a couple of years, but so that's really fun. And but it's really not the weight. It is the feeling on the inside of feeling good.
Yeah.
I'm not done. I don't know what the final scale weight is going to be because I have an idea in my mind of what the physique that I want to have.
Yeah.
And as long as I keep this feeling that I feel, whatever. So
that's the most important part though, is the feeling. Like being healthy is awesome. And of course the physique is something that us as humans and in this society, we want to make sure that we have, and we feel good about ourselves. But the energy and you feeling amazing and happy, that is the best part right there, yo.
The happy, oh my Lord, is through the stinking roof. Yeah. Over the weekend, I went to we have a minor league baseball team here in town, and I was like, hey, girls, because my boys don't want to watch baseball. I said, hey, girls, you want to go to the baseball game? We want to go with Fun Mom. And I was like, Fun Mom is coming. And so we went and we laughed and we danced all the stupid music in between each batter.
That's right.
And the fireworks, and literally my face hurt because I smiled so much. And I missed that.
Yeah.
There's a role that you adopt. I think most parents end up adopting some role of what they think parenting should be.
Right.
Or they parent the way that either they're completely the other direction that they were parented.
Right.
Or they try and do it in the same line because, hey, they turned out okay. Why not do it the same way? But this is not the same world. And our children are not us.
Yeah.
So that just went along with the acceptance of I'm me, and I was given these children. They need me to be me. They don't need me to be whoever else that was.
Amen. Real talk. They ask you, we want Fun Mom to go. You'd be like, guess Fun Mom. Guess who bought the tickets? Fun Mom bought the tickets.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, it was a good time.
Was there any exercise? Like, how much did exercise take part in your releasing of the weight?
So at first, it was really honestly just a 45-minute walk every day.
Awesome.
And I say every day, like I meant every day. I didn't do it every day. but most days. But really, since I met you beginning of June, at this event, I bumped up the intensity like none other. I went back to the gym in April when they opened back up. And so Monday through Friday, I'm at the gym and I'm on that stupid machine.
Wait.
On the stupid machine at 5:35 every morning.
Your internal representation of that machine has if just think of your internal representation of the treadmill.
Right.
if your internal representation was just like, oh, that I don't know, something different than that stupid machine. But hey, you get on it though. As long as you get on it, that's all that matters.
I do. I get on it and I take a picture every day of the end result, because
Yeah.
that's what I'm about, is results.
Yes, indeed. Same here.
And I'll tell you what, it's that, what are you going to tolerate anymore?
Yes.
When you're done tolerating this and you step it up and you raise the standards and saying, I am not going to be that way, do that thing, follow that, fill in the blank anymore.
Wow.
I am doing this because this is going to get me where I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not a stupid machine anymore, and I kind of own it every day, so it's okay.
You raise your standards and expectations. What was that like? When was that moment when you raised your standards and expectations?
Well, let's see, June 5th, 2021. Yeah, really, it was just the realization that the present, the current, wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
The fulfillment, the joy, the happy was not there, because I wasn't being fake. Yeah. There's a difference between, being fake and not being true to you, but I wasn't being true to me.
Gotcha. What's that difference between
being fake?
Yeah, being like, I've never heard that before. You know what I mean? Being fake and not being you. Like, what's that? What do you think is that main difference between the two?
When it's forced and it's not natural.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you can force a smile and not be happy.
That's fake.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I think in the eyes is where you can really see it in people.
Always.
Is just like, it's either doom and gloom or it's joy and bliss. There's and I like to have the joy and bliss involved every day now.
So you want it to be fully authentic and have the best experience of life that you could.
Yeah.
Damn. That's
because I'm not doing anybody any favors by not being me.
Real talk.
Especially my kids.
Especially you. I mean, hell. Everybody also benefits from you being you and you living in alignment with God. You know what I mean? And and you being your true authentic self. Like you having your purpose and your joy at all times. Yeah. That's real.
Yeah.
And you are still on this journey right now, because today on the podcast, you said that you wanted to release fear, and it's a fear of not being chosen. Can you go ahead? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Oh, geez, do we have to? No. It's just like so many things. Once upon a time, there was this little girl whose dad did not want her from the beginning, never stepped into her life.
Yeah.
There was the mom who was supposed to, didn't either.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I went to live with my grandparents, and I was kind of a latchkey kid at age 5, 6, 7. My brother had gotten he was hit and killed by a car when he was smaller, so I was like the only one. Yeah. I'm like, why do you beat the crap out of me for having a knot in my hair that you bust the hairbrush over my head? Why am I your freaking punching bag? Oh, so clearly I'm not what you want. So went to live with my grandparents, and my grandmother passed away. And so my grandpa was like, I got this kid. I was like 10 something. And he had to ask my mom to come out and help him take care of me. I still was not I still was not her choice. So you, again, it's not being fake, but you try and take on all of these different roles or identities or methods of operation or whatever to do your damnedest to be the one that's wanted.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
so that fear has probably been and is, to be completely honest, is a very accurate representation of, like, I feel like it's my last, maybe it's not, but my last mountain to climb.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and get some progress on that mountain.
Okay, let's go.
All right. So what we're going to do is the mental and emotional release process. Now, there's only 3 things that you need to do in order for this process to go outstandingly and for you to have a profound experience. Number 1, you got to use your imagination.
Okay.
All right. Number 2, you have to follow directions. And number 3 is to trust the process. Know that I'm your guide and I'm going to be leading you through this easily and effortlessly.
All right. I'm here. I'm going. Okay.
Awesome. Is it all right? Let's create your timeline. Now, with your timeline, your past can be to your left, to your right, or behind you. If you were to know, where's your past? Left.
Yeah.
Where's your future?
Yeah.
Ahead of you. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's it.
Yeah.
Now,
okay.
Is it all right with your unconscious mind for you to release this fear today and for you to be aware of it consciously?
Yes.
Awesome. What is the root cause of this problem? The first event, which when disconnected will cause this problem to disappear. If you were to know, when was the first time that you felt fear between the ages of birth and 7? How old were you?
3.
Do you have a specific event in mind? Yes or no?
Yes.
What is that? Do you can you share that specific event?
I can.
Yeah. Go for it. Go for it.
It was watching my mother get beat up by a guy that she was going to marry after he tried to put a lit cigarette in my mouth, and I was 3. And she told him to get away from me, and he beat the crap out of her, and I watched.
It's intense, yo. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I give my condolences for your grandparents. And I know that you're a stronger person because everything that you went through, and you didn't deserve to go through it, but the fact that you did, I know that that's where your superpower is, and that's why you're such a blessing. So you can go ahead and close your eyes and relax and let me know when you're ready for the process.
Okay.
Awesome. Now, just imagine floating up above your timeline and float deeper and deeper and deeper into the past, above that first event in which you felt fear when you were just a little girl. And just hover above that little girl, seeing everything around in the event. Float high above the event. Let me know when you can see that little girl.
Okay.
Now stay right there and hover above that little girl and just ask your unconscious mind what it needs to learn from the event. The learning of which will allow you to let go of the emotions easily and effortlessly. Your unconscious mind can preserve the learnings so that if you need them in the future, they'll be there. Just tell your unconscious mind to preserve the learnings. And as you preserve these learnings, the emotions are starting to dissipate more and more until they're all gone. Just let me know when they're all gone. Awesome. Now, do you still see that little girl?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the most important thing about this whole experience is the learnings. So with your eyes closed and you floating above that little girl, tell me something that you learned from that event.
She's a protector.
That's right.
She's a fighter.
That's right.
She loves a lot. She's unstoppable.
That's right. That is right.
She's loved.
you're, you're darn right. That's right. Good stuff. Now, just imagine floating up above your timeline and float deeper and deeper and deeper into the past, above the dinosaurs during the prehistoric age. Let me know when you're above the dinosaurs. Yeah. Now, as you're above the dinosaurs, float deeper and deeper and deeper into space to where space and the atmosphere connects. And imagine your timeline is the size of a fingernail. Let me know when you're there. All right, listen closely. Float very, very high above your timeline, above each and every event in which you felt fear, from birth until now in chronological order. Don't skip one event. Preserve the learnings and let go of all the fear, all the way back to now. Go.
We're there.
Awesome. Float down into your body and open your eyes when you're ready. Welcome back.
Hey. Yay. Wow. That was the cheapest trip I've ever been on. Well done.
Hey, great job. Great job. All right. Now it's your turn. Well, first of all, do you smell bacon?
No.
Awesome.
Okay.
that, that question is to help you break your state of mind.
Oh, well done.
Hey, so can you remember a time in the past in which you used to feel that old emotion? And go back and notice if you can feel it, or you may find that you cannot.
No.
Awesome. I want you to imagine going out into the future, to an unspecified time in the future, in which, if the same thing would have happened in the past, you would have felt inappropriate or unwarranted fear. But you're in the future now. So see if you can find that old emotion, or you may find that you cannot.
I found these words instead.
Congratulations. You just released a bunch of fear.
Yay.
I love it. You look so happy.
Wow. Yeah.
So now it's your turn to teach. Okay. So you can go by all those learnings that you had. Now you can teach us those learnings. So what did you learn? What did you find? One by one.
The words that I wrote down.
Yes, please.
Is that what you're? Oh.
Yes, please.
Unstoppable. Oh, I seem to have written strong down 3 times.
That must mean something to you. Yeah.
Phenomenal and not going to be held back.
Yeah.
Resilient.
Mm-hmm.
Loving a lot strongly and deeply is a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And not something that should be held inside.
Mm-mm.
Because people need love.
Yes. Agreed.
And I'm loved. And that's powerful. So I am powerful.
Yes, you are. Oh my gosh. And all those things you can make those into mantras as well, right? Your affirmations or
absolutely.
Mantras. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like daily reminders.
Yeah.
You know.
And when it comes from yourself, it's far better than picking it off a list.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. So that 10-year-old girl, how do you feel about that 10-year-old girl now?
She's just fine the way she was. There's nothing wrong with her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love her.
What about what during the exercise helped you change that or shift that perspective? Or what perspective did you see from in order to release that emotion?
The farthest away journey in seeing that there was intent and purpose for me before that event. And that event was just a something.
Yeah.
It didn't have to identify me. I was ID'd long ago.
As all those things that you have on that piece of paper.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's been fake.
Damn. That's deep, yo. That's real deep.
Yeah. My ID was created a long ago.
Yeah.
And I've been stacking stuff on there that didn't belong.
Yeah.
And is not serving me or anybody else.
And like, it hurts so much that, at the time it hurts so much because, logically we have to think, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not the one that's to be chosen. But it's just, your mom was going through whatever she was going through, and, your grandfather was doing the best that he could. There was a lot going on in that moment, and it didn't define you at all.
Yeah, that feels good.
Yeah.
To not be defined by an event that you had no control over. You weren't the one doing it to you. Pretty good.
Not bad, huh? Not too shabby.
You win the prize today.
I didn't know that there was a prize. Oh snap! When do we get prizes on this show?
Yeah, I don't know. Checks in the mail, man.
That's awesome. All right, so the first event was a very horrific event, if you will. The one with the guy trying to burn a cigarette on your tongue. Like, what did you, all those things, you said a lot of things, like, you said things about being powerful and being loved. And like, what was it? Can you put into words, more than just those phrases, on how you were able to see things differently for that event?
It was like gosh, I can't think of it in the old way now.
Which is awesome.
Thank you. It didn't get me. Like that was some bad stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
That was, how old am I? That was 42 years ago. It didn't break me.
Right.
I've carried that nonsense, but it didn't get me.
Yeah.
I was stronger than that event.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And it's not going to stop me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Another thing that I like to ask guests is about, we were talking about how emotions are trapped inside the body. Did you feel any shifts or anything, like the releasing of tension or anything at all? I don't want to give you any suggestions. Did you feel anything during the meditation that was a sign that things were being released?
Well, there were stupid tears.
That was the most significant release, of course.
But it was they were not tears of sadness or anything. They were like injustice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They were like, look, this is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
And a release would have been also holding my mom accountable for that. That's silly too.
Wow.
That was not her intention. I think a lot of that stuff throughout the life is placing, and I'm sure, there are some bad things that happen where that was the intention.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That wasn't my intention.
No.
And this is my life. So stop putting your crap in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
It sucked for her. She was the one taking the beating.
Mm-hmm. And that doesn't have to be such a significant part of your story.
Right.
Wow.
That's her story.
Right.
I saw it, but that's not my story.
Right.
That's just the first memory that I have was that event.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I've thought about it as the little girl in the event,
Mm-hmm.
as I've thought of it as the little girl not stopping it, not protecting,
Mm.
not saving her.
You're talking about your mom. That's
Yeah.
deep. That is deep. The little
And
girl not saving her.
but that's how our relationship has been
Yeah.
from then on. I've
Yeah.
always been the protector and the, the injustice advocate,
Yeah. Wow.
yeah,
Wow. So you gained a bit of empathy and compassion for your mom.
yeah, which is probably something that I should tell her.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's the best part about it when we can, you know, get out of that mode of seeing things from a perspective like, especially for my mom, like that was her intentions to, not be with my father and allow him to leave, or for her to spank me with all intentions to hurt me, instead of just seeing like she was only doing the best that she could with the resources and consciousness that she had, and that all that had nothing to do with me. It was a reflection of her baggage.
Right. Right.
Right. So the same with your mom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
that's a good trip. Thank you.
You talk about it like it's shrooms.
Check, please.
Like, that was a good trip. Right.
I am in Colorado.
Right. Oh my goodness gracious. Carolyn, thank you so much for showing up for your divine appointment and being on the Drop Your Baggage podcast.
Thank you so much for asking me.
100%. Is there anything that you would like to leave the audience with as far as, wise words or anything?
Oh, gracious. Knowing that you were pretty good yesterday, and you're really good right now, but tomorrow you're going to be even better.
Amen. Yeah.
Every day is a chance, is a possibility, is a something to do better, be better, get better. Always going to the next. That where you are right now, it isn't it. There's more.
Real talk. Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
And thank you all out there for tuning in to another episode of the Drop Your Baggage podcast. This has been such an outstanding experience. If you all are on YouTube, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button. If you are out there in any podcast, please keep listening, keep looking for new episodes. Carolyn, you're phenomenal, and I would love to bring you back
Thank
on to
you.
see how you're doing in a few, in a little bit, to show your mindset.
Oh yeah. Let's talk in October.
Hopefully, it's a little bit sooner than that.
Let's see what 90 days does.
Oh my God. You guys, please take care of yourself and take care of one another. Peace.
Yeah, absolutely.